Hey there, Phillip Johnson here. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm with eXp Realty. I have a group called the Phillip Johnson Group here at eXp Realty. I'm not an employee of eXp Realty. I'm just an agent here. Wanted to kind of give you an explanation of what I'm doing here with this video. This is called an introduction to eXp. I've been at eXp now for 2 years, so I think I have a good background knowledge of what's going on, all the inner workings and all the great things that's going on at eXp. And I think I can give you some really strong insight. I'm going to do the whole presentation, the whole introduction to the eXp model here, from everything from our core values to our rev share, everything. I'm going to explain it to you, and it's going to be from my perspective. Again, you know, you can tell I've been around for a while, so I'm not new to this industry. I was a former RE/MAX agent for 20 years. And absolutely love and have nothing but much love for RE/MAX and all its agents. But found this model a couple of years ago, almost a year today, a couple of weeks away from being 2 years. And it was truly the best decision I ever made in my life when it comes to business. And you know, and I've been in other businesses other than real estate. So just to let you know, this is going to be from my perspective, which, you know, it may or may not be important to you, but, you know, it's not just, I'm just not going to give you a robotic explanation of the model. It's going to be from my perspective, and I'm going to do the best I can to make it as honest and forthcoming as possible, or transparent, as we call it at eXp. So, and I don't know if my screen, I'm going to downsize this so that my video here, so it's not in the way. So what I'm going to call this is the good, the bad, and the glorious. eXp Realty, coming soon to a theater near you, a fistful of dollars. You'll better understand what that means as I go through the model. Now, you may have already heard about eXp. You may already, you know, have your mindset on what the model is. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to clear up a lot of misconceptions about this model. Okay, but I'm also going to, you know, I'm going to go ahead and cover things that may, you know, be a little, you know, edgy. I mean, you know, some of the bad, okay? And we'll talk a little bit about that, because, you know, and not saying there's really any bad necessarily. Anytime you have the growth that this company has seen, there's going to be bumps, okay? And that's just the reality of it. But then there's a lot of glorious about this company. I truly believe in all my heart of hearts that this is the best model for a real estate agent, okay? Now, if you know, we are in the cloud. We're a cloud company, but you know, this is my office here. Like I said, I had been with another company, you know, RE/MAX for 20 years. I paid for an office for 20 years, and I rarely used it. You know, most of the time, and most of the agents that were in our office, actually, quite frankly, the busy ones, were rarely there. Okay, but everybody does their own thing, and I will be the last person to tell you that you do not need an office, because there are some people that absolutely have to have an office, okay? eXp does not provide you an office space. But if you're in the cloud, you can always go get your own office. I mean, there's so many different ways of getting office space, right? You know, to be able to get out of the home and do your thing. I don't need it. I mean, I've got an all-in-one system here that does anything and everything that I possibly could use for real estate. When I print out something, a high end, I'm going to take it to a professional and print it out anyway. I'll create it, and then I'll take it to a professional. Because even at the old firm that I was at, I was paying almost $1, 75 cents to a dollar for high quality print, and even that was questionable whether or not it was high quality. Okay, at least I can go to Kinko's or somewhere, pay them 40-something cents to have them print something out, and if I don't like the quality, I can tell them, right? So that's what I'm going to do here, and I hope it was very useful. So to better understand me, I'm not going to really talk a lot about myself here. This is not about me. It's about eXp. But for you to better understand the perspective that I'm coming from, you do got to go a little bit know about me. Like I said, I was same brokerage for 20 years. I was a Hall of Fame agent, have many awards. You can kind of see them back there. I'm still very proud of my time at RE/MAX. I was a Hall of Fame agent, like I said, Platinum Club winner many times in a row. Top 100 in the Carolinas several times. I always, and this is very important to follow me here, I was always a very small team. I was either an individual or a small team. I never was, I never had this gigantic team. Now, my very first year in real estate, I was with with RE/MAX, and I was on a team, and we finished 10th in the world, 53,000 agents. We finished 10th in the world. We killed it that year. Okay. And I'm very proud of that time. And that's where I learned the business. Okay. And, but at that time, I knew that I did not want to have a team like that. Okay. I mean, the team felt like it was running the lead agent instead of having freedom and being able to do your own thing. Now, I do know team concepts can give you freedom. Okay. But this model really, truly can give you true freedom. Okay. And you're going to understand a lot better what I'm talking about as I go forward. So before I got into real estate, when I got out of college, I founded it. Well, actually, while I was in college, I founded a furniture manufacturer. We did that for 8 years. Did pretty well. I had 140 accounts in 3 states. That's one of the pieces of furniture we used to make there. Imports came in, and pretty much our profits margins started really going down. We were mostly handmade furniture, and I had to kind of change up. We went to laser. We started doing some adapting, but it just wasn't worth it. So I just got out of the business. I sold out. And got out. And then when I got into real estate, after my first year, again, this was in the 90s, the late 90s, I started a virtual tour / agent promotion company, which was way ahead of its time. Okay. But then the .com crash came and I went back into real estate. So long story short, I've been in real estate for over 20 years. I've been a very productive agent, not claiming to be some mega superstar agent, but I've always been successful in real estate. Even during the crash, I did, fairly well. I did much better than most agents out here. Okay. Unfortunately, it was a very bad time for everybody, but I joined this model 2 years ago, and it was the very best decision I've ever made. And that is the honest to God truth. And now I'm going to explain the model and get into it, and maybe you'll understand why I claim it to be that way. Okay. So we're going to talk about who we are. We're going to talk about the business model. We're going to talk about eXp World. We're going to talk about the solutions that eXp offers you. We're going to talk about the money, of course, and then we're going to talk about briefly talking about how to join eXp if you're interested, or if you got any more questions and things like that. So first off, who we are. You cannot talk about eXp without talking about Glenn Sanford. Okay, I mean, he's the founder of the founder of eXp and the innovator. Okay, and he's always been kind of leading the trends. Glenn had important roles in the internet startups before launching a real estate career in 2002. I believe he was a consultant with AOL, for example. Okay, very smart guy. Okay, in his 4th year in real estate with a major national franchisor, and that was Keller Williams. His team closed more than 60 million in real estate by connecting with consumers online. He was already kind of ahead of the curve. Okay, he was already out here innovating. Okay, Glenn believed that agents and brokers do the heavy lifting in real estate and deserve the benefits of being a shareholder and income based on the level of their contribution. I cannot agree with that more. Okay, we're the ones out here heavy lifting. We're the ones working the open houses, working in the rain, working during daughters' recitals, working weekends, working nights, right? I mean, answering the phone at 11 o'clock at night because you've got some irate client. Okay, that's the nature of our business. And this is not like we're making wickets. All the revenue that is created by us in the real estate is done by our efforts. It's not done by anything. We're not out here pushing a button and something's making something for us so we can go out and sell wickets, right? Widgets or whatever, right? We're the ones that generate the income and the revenue. So why not have ownership or some type of equity in the company? That's what eXp is basically offering you. That's what Glenn Sanford founded, okay? In 2009, he founded the first cloud-based brokerage. And I'm going to show you the time frame. And if you really look at this, just really look at this. I mean, he founded it in 2009, okay? And if you've been an agent like me for as long as I've been an agent, you know what happened in 2008, okay? He founded a brokerage during the crash, okay? My 2009 was a little better than my 2008, but in 2008, I lost almost 75% of my income overnight, okay? My income was almost at its peak in 2007 to its low in 2008, literally the lowest I'd ever done. Even in my first year in real estate, my first full year in real estate, it was lower than that in 2008, okay? It's devastating. Now, one thing I'm proud of, I still made the 100% glove at Remax. Woo-hoo. Okay, but regardless, all I'm trying to tell you is that this man founded a company during a crash, okay? 1 year later, he had already expanded in 11 states, okay, through the cloud-based concept. He was already, in 2 years later, he was already being seen by Schwampel Trends, which is a national real estate trends report, as the Amazon of the internet, of the real estate industry, okay? He was already starting to be recognized that way. In 3 short years, he was recognized as one of the top most influential people in real estate, okay? Something's happening here, right? I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see what's happened in 3 short years, okay? Still, you know, the market's picked up by 2012, but it's still not there yet. 2013, he started giving equity to agents in the company. So, you know, eXp World Holdings becomes publicly traded. It was an over-the-counter stock, okay? 2000, basically a penny stock. 2014, he launched in one of the provinces of Canada. 2015, that's when they launched the agent equity program, where they were awarding stocks to the agents, and the Icon Agent Award program, and the revenue share program started really taking hold, okay, which we're going to talk about, the cascading revenue. 2016, the agent count tripled. Okay, so this is when, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the growth here in a minute. Okay, I joined, like I said, in the early part of 2017. There was less than 3,000 agents. By the 1 year later, there was 10,000 agents. Think about that. I don't know if there's ever been a company in real estate history that's grown that fast. And you know, people can criticize and say whatever they want to, but the reality is, the growth of sales and everything is increasing dramatically at eXp, and it's going to continue. You know, to what rate, I don't know, but it's going to continue. So in 2018, I think was truly the banner year for eXp. Okay, there were several things that happened in 2018. We're not going to talk about them all right here, but we will as I go through the model and present it. One of the most important things is, the most important thing really is, EXPI, which is our stock symbol, was uplisted into NASDAQ. Okay, huge news, right? We were also Inman Innovator Award winner, broker owner, okay? And then also we reached the milestone of 10,000 agents, as I mentioned before, in 2018, Glassdoor Best Places to Work. And we're also 2019 now already Glassdoor Best Places to Work. And if you don't know what that means, that is an employee-based survey, okay? It's not some random somebody making a guess and throwing darts. So we were actually now reaching close to 16,000 agents, I believe. You know, I don't know the exact number, but I know we're over 15. This says 14. So that's how fast we grow here. So, but you can look at this, and I'm going to give you a quick analogy here. We're on a longboard. I've been here 2 years. I'm on a longboard. I'm paddling as hard as I can on the swell. It's just a swell. I don't even know when it's going to break and become a wave. I don't have any clue. But you know, we've just now opened up in all 50 states, and we're in 3 provinces of Canada. We're going to go worldwide. And when we do, that swell is going to turn into a wave, okay? The growth is going to be massive. No telling what's going to happen. I'm not projecting anything that's going to happen to the stock or anything like that there. All I'm telling you is the agent growth is going to be staggering, okay? And this is my opinion. And us agents that are in the company, and I think we still got a 2-year window of additional 2-year window of this. You know, even no matter what happens to the market. In fact, I think if the market makes a downturn, this company is going to even grow even faster, just because by evidence of how it grew when we were in the middle of a crash. But when that wave breaks, all us agents that are on the longboard, and we're already with the company and we're already paddling along, we've already been out here putting our tentacles out. That's when we're gonna be able to transition to that shortboard really quick, and we're gonna be able to ride that wave in. Okay. And that's what I'm asking you guys, that if you're looking at this and you're thinking, you're on the fence and you're thinking, well, maybe when this stuff happens or that happens, don't wait. You don't have any reason to wait. Go ahead and get on it. You have nothing to lose. You can always go back to your old firm. They'll take you back with their mouth water. Okay. Get in this while you can. Okay. And again, I'm not making any promises or projections. All I'm telling you is, in my opinion, we have just scratched the surface of the growth of this company. And you can look at this and tell that it's a staggering in viralness. Okay, so at eXp, core values are extremely important. Okay, The only thing is that if I talked about all our core values here, you would either fall asleep or you would click off the video. So I'm not going to harp on the values, core values too much. I will tell you that most of these that we're gonna talk about while I do this presentation, because they're embedded in the model. Okay, agility, is obvious, right? Collaboration's obvious. Sustainability, transparency, all this is going to be talked about as I go forward in explaining this model. And of course, integrity. I mean, one of my biggest pet peeves is in this industry. If you don't have integrity, you shouldn't be in the real estate industry. You shouldn't even be in business at all, personally, but most importantly, in the real estate industry. So, but we're going to talk about our core values as I go forward here. So our business model, unless you haven't been paying attention, you know what's happened to Blockbuster. You know what Netflix has done. You know what Amazon's done. Another recent example is Sears. Sears used to have a daggone catalog. You used to buy a house 100 years ago at Sears, 90 years ago. I sold one in downtown Raleigh just this year, or well, now past year, a few months back, closed on a house that was a Sears catalog home. It was ordered out of the catalog. How did they not see this coming with Amazon? I don't know. Okay, shame on them. That's the way I look at it. But I'm not predicting this is the future of traditional brokerages. What I am saying though is when the market does fluctuations and stuff, eXp is set up for the fluctuations. Okay, our corporate structure is all in the cloud. We have like 350 employees now at eXp. They're all in the cloud. We can hire the best and brightest because number one, they like the idea of working out of their home, and then number two, they can live anywhere, right? Sometimes we want them on the West Coast, sometimes we want them in the East Coast. There's a lot of reasons for that, and I'm going to explain to you why, because it's very important to understand our cloud and how our support and everything is in the cloud, and you're going to learn more about how that works. And eventually the light will come on and go, oh my God, that's brilliant. And that's what this model is all about. And this is why I joined. It literally took me 10 minutes to see this model and go, okay, I've been at RE/MAX for 20 years. This is the next RE/MAX. This is the next true disruptor in the industry. And I truly believe that. Otherwise, I would not be making this video. So the traditional franchise, and when we're talking about traditional franchise, we're talking about anything, a mom and pop, little small brokerage, it doesn't matter. If your ecosystem's a boutique brand and all that, hey, more power to you. I'm not knocking any of them, okay? All I'm trying to tell you, though, is you can coexist with eXp. You can have a small boutique and still be at eXp. You can partner with eXp. You can leverage eXp and grow your tentacles out further, even if you still keep your ecosystem within where you are, okay? We've eliminated the costly overhead. We're not locally confined. I can have my team growth anywhere in the country and in Canada and eventually the world. And a lot of times it will grow organically, virally. Okay, and that's what a lot of agents don't understand this. And I'm going to explain how it works, and I'm going to show you the numbers. And if you're really paying attention and halfway good in math, you should be able to figure it out fairly quickly on your own. We have growth incentives. We don't have inconsistent growth incentives. We have opportunities for ownership or at least partnership at eXp Realty, or whatever you want to call it. Equity, right? Limited technology and support. We leverage ourselves. We're actually buying companies now as we're growing. We're buying companies. Okay, example is we just bought Verbella, which is the cloud company that we originally grew with. We actually went and bought them. Okay, another company out here tried to buy them out from under us, is my understanding. But anyway, that's another story. We just partnered up with there was a company called Show Me Now, and it was an app, and we just purchased it, and we're getting ready to launch it in a month. Okay, so there's constantly purchasing technology. So we're going to talk about the cloud-based environment. We're going to talk about the live training. This is not even, we have over 30 hours of live training now. Again, it's constantly adding. We're going to talk a lot more about that. Well, not a lot more. I'm not going to try to bore you to death, but I do want to give you a full, complete understanding of the model. Real-time support, specialized support teams ready to help. We're going to talk about what that means. International collaboration. You're going to really understand that when I'm done. And powerful equity opportunities, which is to me, revenue share and stock equity programs is one of the main reasons why I joined the company. I would say probably if you combine those two, be honest, it was probably 60% of the reason why I joined, but the other 40% is very powerful too. Okay, so that's not the only thing. So, and I'm going to make it clear when I go forward to explaining some of this, what I mean by that. So, the cloud environment. no desk fees, work from anywhere, cut overhead brick and mortar costs. We can expand as a company, as I said, corporately. We don't have to keep adding offices and floors and signing leases. You know, we can hire somebody up in Maine, right? That may be some technical expert in something in our tech support, right? Or, you know, she could be the best accountant in our accounting services, right? And work out of her home. She could be in Boston, you know, wherever. We don't have to relocate or whatever, you know. No expensive leases means that the company can invest in agent support and technology. Think about all the money we're saving by not being having all this corporate structure, all this brick and mortar, the insurance that you're having to pay, the power, you know, all the you know, we're a green company. That's a green. That's the, you know, we're a true green company. Okay, that's a fact. That's not just my opinion. Paperless transactions, we're going to talk about what that means. Getting instant access to training support, we're going to talk a little bit more about that as well. So live training, like I said, the cloud, and I'm going to show you an example of what the cloud looks like, our actual eXp world. But now there's over 20 hours of live training each week. And you know, like I say, I don't even bother editing. I'd rather just do this video and just show you how fast things change at eXp. Learn from the industry experts and top producers, sales and listings, lead generation, social media, CRM technology tools. Tap into an archive of recorded sessions. The training is there as long as you take advantage of it. If you don't take advantage of it, it's like anything. You know, you can get your real estate license, you could go and do all this stuff, you could come and work for a company, but if you don't implement what you're being taught or take advantage of the classes, it's no different than before you've gotten real estate, okay? There's a lot of tools to learn and take advantage of it. And I just think that's so important. So, real-time support. So, I'm going to zoom in on myself here just a little bit. So, you know, I can't explain to you how important this is, okay? So, you know, we now have support from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Technical support. You just pop in, grab a ticket, go in. They can take over your computer. You know, they can do things for you that most offices don't even offer. I remember the one that I was at, usually our tech support guy came in every other Wednesday or something like that for like 2 hours. That was it. And if you really needed him to do something, you had to pay him to do other things, you know, and he did a great job, but that's just the reality of it. Okay. Training specialists, transaction specialists. If you need to, you know, figure out how to fill a form out, maybe it's a new form and you just don't know how to go. Hopefully someone in the transaction specialist has seen it before and they know how to tell you how to fill it out, right? You don't have to, you know, obviously that's not something you would bother your broker with, your big for, you shouldn't, okay? Live support training, and I realize I'm going backwards here, but I'm kind of going for the important stuff. But the real thing that I really want you to understand here is we're getting ready to go 24 hours. Because once we go nationwide, worldwide, we're going to have to be open 24 hours. My understanding is sooner, before we get to that point, we're going to go ahead and go 24 hours. So online support, technical support, you can go into the cloud. You're going to see more of what I'm talking about here. It's not picking up a phone call. It's actually it's basically a video game, okay? So and people can make fun of it all they want to, but until they've actually experienced it and see how effective it is, then, you know, get real. Not only that, the time that you save, and I'm going to talk more about what that means. Interact and learn from the top professionals in the company. We have an agent that's so gracious that he literally teaches a class every Sunday night. This man had owned his own firm and came over and brought his firm over from eXp, at least a good portion of it. I don't know the whole thing, but he teaches basic, you know, 101 real estate every Sunday night at 9 o'clock in the cloud, live. Okay. Then he also brings in guests and things like that. Build teams across states and provinces. I have agents now spread out in North Carolina. I have one in Florida. I have like 8 in Tennessee. You know, they're spread out. Someone's going to be joining in Illinois. That's, you know, not that I personally sponsored. Well, the ones in Tennessee, at least one of them I did. But the others are from other agents. Okay, so participate in daily live online gatherings. Benefit from the powerful referral network, and share best practice. Now, one thing I want to make sure you understand, when you're in the cloud environment, people think, well, okay, well, you're going to be very isolated. You're not going to be able to come in and stand by the water cooler and chat it up with another agent. That's true, okay? Unless you join a team or unless you go get your own office space. We do have an agreement with Regus where you can go in and at a discount, you can get an office in the Regus suite. You know, there are ways of getting out, okay? I mean, like I said, this is my domain, right? It's a decent sized office. I've got like um, a, a, uh, uh, a brochure binder over here. On the other side, I've got 2 monitors here. I've got a TV over here. A cabinet over here with books and things that I keep over here. This is all I need. That's all I've ever needed, especially the way technology is today. Everything is done in the cloud now. Even in the office that I was before, we did everything in the cloud. But the whole point of what I'm trying to make here is you just have to think about, if you want to grow a team and you want to do it the right way is to, certainly you can have buyer's agents here and there and do it that way, and referral kind of thing, or you can have, or you can do it referral based way, but you can grow your team however you want to. You only have one cap. No matter where you go, you can have, if you wanted to have a team in another city or whatever, you could have, one cap. Now, of course, if you're in different areas, you got to pay different MLS fees and stuff like that. That's all different, but your cap is just one cap at eXp, no matter what you do. Transparency or true, if we have an issue at eXp, we have an agent advisory council that goes in and fixes our issues, right? It's very agent centric, okay? So the board and everyone that makes all these important decisions, our executives, they all listen to our agent advisory council. I can't stress to you how important that is. And that's where agility comes in too. When we have to make a change on a dime, we can. Now, one thing I'll tell you, and this is one of the things I was mentioning before about the bad. Is there bad at eXp? Yes, there's bad. There's bad at There's not any company on the planet that you can't say is bad. And if there's one thing, and I don't think it's bad personally, but someone might, okay? Sometimes we make changes. Sometimes because we're growing so fast that number one is onboarding may change. Things may have to change and adapt to handle the growth. Okay. This thing is just what's going to happen with a company that's growing as virally as we are. And to me, it's all for the good. I haven't seen anything that's changed at eXp that either number one, we didn't know what was coming, that was going to happen anyway, or number two, that wasn't best for the long-term growth of the company. Okay. And as long as those two things are happening, I don't care. I'm easy going. All right. So let's talk about this. And I'm going to talk more about regionally here. I'm in North Carolina. People say, well, this is just an agent recruitment company or agent attraction, blah, 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 blah. We don't really actually sell anything. We're just a licensed warehouse, and there's another company out there that's accused of that. When I was at RE/MAX, we used to make fun of that other company until they're now the largest company in the world. Okay. But at eXp, you can look at the rankings here. I'm not going to sit here and read these all. But number one in ranked in percentage increase in closed sides from 2016 to 2017. In North Carolina alone, we went in 1 year from $64 million to over $1 billion in sales in 1 year. Okay. I don't even know what the percentage of that is. What is it? I don't even know. It's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. That's a whole lot, right? 500 something percent. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But that's a huge increase in growth in 1 year. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to grow that fast the next year, because that was extraordinarily fast, but that's pretty impressive. No matter what scale you look at, that's impressive. We are selling real estate. We're bringing in some of the best agents on the planet, or at least in the United States, on the eXp, and they're joining regularly now. It's becoming to where they don't even report it hardly anymore, because it's just become so normal at eXp. So anyway, those speak for itself. I'm not going to sit here and read all this. One of the things I just want to reiterate is what Inman said. Team recruitment drives eXp's strong agent growth in the third quarter. Okay, there used to be announcements made pretty regularly about eXp I had a foot massager down here that I accidentally cut off. I don't know if you heard the vibrating, but I'm like, okay. So anyway, that's funny. So at eXp, like Emin would report, like when we had teams join and all that stuff, there would be an article. And what's funny about this is, like, there's companies out here that they go, oh, this team, 17, they have an article, 17 team member joined this company, blah, blah, blah. It's a normal day, a normal occurrence at eXp now. It's old news. It's just a normal thing. So anyway, but you can read all these others while I'm sitting here rambling on. I've already discussed several of them. So when I talked about why I joined, this was one of the reasons why I joined the company. Okay. I'm a seasoned agent. I like to think that I know more than the average agent. You know, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but I've been doing this 20 years and I've been fairly successful. So I think I have a right to say that. I didn't join the world because of, oh, I can learn this and learn that. But I will tell you, by sitting here, is every class that I've taken in this environment, even in classes that I think that I knew quite a bit, I learned something. Okay. But here's the deal with the world. You download this program onto your computer. I have 2 monitors here. So when I'm in the world, like today, this morning at 10 o'clock, we have every Thursday, we have our BIC meeting, our state BIC. So we go in, the BIC does a class. We have I'm going to show you an example of what it would look like. Okay. I could take that meeting on an app. You can see the mobile phone there. Okay. Or I can take it on a desktop or a laptop. Okay. It works much better and it's much more functional. But they're improving it constantly, okay, than the app. The app is simply you can listen. If you have to talk, it's like a walkie-talkie. You can push the button and hold it and talk. They do that so that people don't accidentally push the talk button and then they're talking and everybody can hear them, okay? So that's what it's all about. But the world is constantly expanding and growing as we grow as a company. You know, like if you go into our world, you can kind of see examples here. When you go into our world, you see we have these tall buildings in our campus and all that. One says Canada, one says United States. And I see eventually these buildings will be North Carolina, California, Texas. You know, that's the way we're going to grow. So when you pop into the cloud, you don't have to walk around. You know, you create your avatar, okay? Your slim avatar, your slim version. I do have my gray hair and my white beard, but I'm a lot slimmer in the cloud. You create your own cloud. Okay, your own avatar, and then you don't have to walk around the campus. I rarely do that. I do it sometimes. We even have agents that do tours. You can walk around and learn how to do it. You can run, jump, dance, clap, wave, raise your hand, you know, whatever. Okay, but what you're doing in this environment is, if you want to go to a meeting, say meeting room 5, you just click a button and you appear. Okay. At my website, brokeragefornextgen.com, I have a really good video that explains that. If you go to brokeragefornextgen.com and go to the eXp World button that's on there, I have a very good video that shows you actually how it does it. And I did that when nobody was in the cloud. I went and walked around at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And a while back, now you go in there, there's still people around there. No telling what they're trying to do. But anyway. But there's daily training. Like I said, there's large auditoriums, there's small rooms, just depends on what type of meeting you want. But just imagine this, for example, just imagine this, okay? Imagine you're taking a class in an auditorium with 300 people and you've got an instructor up there that's instructing. They've got a board, like you can see this board here. There's a board that you can literally zoom in and watch. This can be slides, it can be a video, it could be one that's like a long document or a long slide that you can scroll down while they're talking, you know, whatever. And then you have people in the chat box talking, asking questions, answering questions, sharing documents, sharing links, doing all this stuff while the meeting's going on. And then I have 2 monitors here. I can literally be taking a class that I'm curious about and be working on the other side, right? I mean, you just never know. You can do however you want. This morning, like I said, I took my broker's class. It was 10 o'clock. You know, and I was in the middle of getting ready because I was kind of running behind that morning. I had a meeting to go to. And so I was sitting there kind of like half dressed, watching taking the BIC class, and then I pop off when I had to, because I had to leave a little early, and I still wanted to listen to the whole BIC class. And then I just opened up my app on my phone, and I got to hear the rest of the meeting on my phone. Okay, while I was doing it, I could do them both at the same time if I wanted. It's truly a brilliant model. And I mean, outside of learning how to do jujitsu or salsa dancing or something like that, I mean, what's a better way of truly learning? You know, you pop into a class, you don't like it, you pop out, go to a different class. And we're constantly adding classes. And then if we want, we can just constantly add rooms, bigger rooms, right? Nothing better. Brilliant model. So jump into meeting and learn on the go. And like I said, you can just click a button and appear. You don't have to walk around the campus. Okay. When you go to say agent support, right? And you've got or tech support or accounting or transaction management or, you know, all these different departments that we have, agent services. When you go in there, or the BIC, you can go see the BIC. All you do is you click a button, you appear where you want to go, and then you pull a ticket. If there's more than 5 people there, there's a place where you can pull a ticket and literally get in line and just stand there. And while you're waiting, you can be doing something else. If you have a different computer or two monitors, I highly recommend that, by the way. So, oh shoot. Sorry about that, but I'm not redoing this video for that. I accidentally clicked my browser. So, eXp Solutions. There are 5 solutions that eXp has. There's many others. These are, in fact, what's really funny about this is 2 of these were actually implemented in 2018. Now, the Enterprise, and which is our back-end office, and Workplace, which is our kind of like what we would call an intranet, right? The old corporate intranet. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. SkySlope CRM, branding, we'll talk about each one of these. Enterprise, and be patient with me. I'm getting ready to get to the money and all that stuff. We're just about there. Okay. Enterprise is your back end. You can visit agent, you can view your agent details, all your how much money you're making, all that stuff real time. And you can also see how much money revenue share that you have coming in. By the way, the revenue share is deposited directly into your account every month on the 21st. You see commissions and caps. You can review agents' equity awards, how many stocks you own, and get real-time performance reports and all that stuff on yourself. Okay? And there's a lot of other things too. It's really like the back office. There's a whole lot of different things that you access from there. Just about anything that's eXp related, you can touch through the Enterprise. Okay? SkySlope, everybody's now in the cloud. There's nothing unique or special about SkySlope in the sense that that we make transactions. It connects us with DigiSign, and Eclipse connects with zip forms. It's all free. It's all part of being at eXp. You don't pay for any of that. And I think, personally, I think SkySlope is an excellent system. It's very easy to use. It's not complicated at all. So, and like I say, it pretty much turnkey. Workplace is getting ready to implement for eXp only. We're going to beta test a safety feature on Workplace for agents, so they can literally have a safety thing where they can notify people if they're in trouble. But I don't know a whole lot about that to talk about it, but I understand that eXp is going to be the first company they're going to do that with. So basically, you have to have an eXp email address to enter into our Workplace, okay? So it is a safe place. It's like if someone leaves eXp, they can no longer access our Workplace, which is set up exactly like Facebook, okay? Because it is Facebook, but it's very protected, okay? So just imagine, luxury group, virtual reality group, whatever groups people want to create, and then you can join and follow other agents inside eXp, okay? Follow Glenn Sanford, follow our VP, whatever you want to do inside the world, you can do that, okay? Broadcast live video, all that stuff, okay? And then a lot of times, like recorded sessions, like our BIC class, that's it's recorded. We also have that recorded, and it's also I think they host it on a YouTube channel. I think it's called eXp North Carolina or something like that. But anyway, CRM. I can't say enough about this. It's free, okay? I mean, for one thing, that's a big thing right there, because if you weren't, like this is KV Core. If you called up KV Core and asked them how much it would cost, it'd be several $100s a month, at eXp it's free, okay? Now, a CRM is only as good as what you do with it, right? If you have leads flowing in, the CRM can really work the leads for you, but ultimately you still got to work it and sell houses. But it's a very effective tool. The former brokerage I came from did not offer this at all. I had Top Producer, which was terrible. Well, I'm not going to say it's terrible. It's just, to me, this system's much better, okay? Let's just put it that way. So, powerful lead generation platforms provided at no additional cost. Integrate listings with your own WordPress site, which I have done. I've got 2 sites. I've got one that KV4 provides for me through eXp, and I had my own WordPress site before I even came to eXp, and I still kept it. I just changed all my back-end stuff and then added their IDX to it. So all the leads that come in, they end up coming to this CRM, even that's from my website. And optional in-house lead generation programs. You put a little bit of money in, and they're running around $10 to $15 a lead. I literally just started doing this because I was doing mostly other type of advertising. Then this is honest to God truth. I did it like 3 days ago. I cut it on. I had it on before, then I cut it off for a while. But through the holidays and stuff like that, and I was already spending money on other lead stuff that I can't just cut on and off. and this is honest truth. I woke up this morning with 2 leads and a referral from an eXp agent. And yesterday got a lead just in 3 days. Okay. So they come in pretty steady. I can't speak to the quality of the leads outside of their $10 and $15 as opposed to Realtor.com and Zillow where they're $100 to $150 a lead. So all leads are terrible if you don't work them right? Marketing and branding. eXp, depending on the state that you're in, allows you to do your own branding. Okay. I have a predominant logo that says PJG, Phillip Johnson Group. And then I have a logo integrated, eXp logo integrated. My sign's the same way. That was one of the things that attracted me to eXp. Where I was before, it was red, white, and blue sign, which is noticeable by everybody, but you couldn't really truly brand yourself. And I kind of like doing that. So, I kind of do my own thing with the branding. But anyway, some people like it, some people don't. I don't care. But that's what you can do at eXp. So anyway, all right. So it's show me the money time. Okay. So these slides came in a different order. I changed them around because I think you need to understand this before you can understand the stock equity program and the revenue share. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward and simple. At eXp, if you make $80,000 in gross commission, you cap. Okay, we're on an 80-20 split. Okay, $16,000 cap. Right, so $16,000 is 20% of $80,000. Simple enough. Okay, follow? Very simple to understand. Okay, and then after you've finished, after you've made $80,000 gross commission, you go to 100% commission, and it resets every anniversary. Okay, but you go to 100% commission till the end of your anniversary. Your anniversary date starts in the month that you join, not January to January. It's whenever you joined. That's your anniversary date. Okay, and then you have a $250 transaction fee. Once you've capped, you don't pay that until you've capped, okay? And we're going to talk a little bit more about the Icon program, which comes into play here. That's why you kind of need to understand this. So once you've made $80,000 in gross commission, you go to 100% commission with a $250 fee, okay? Once you've done 20 transactions after you've capped, it goes to $75, okay? The startup cost is $149 startup fee, okay? Including in that is your first month's fee at eXp. eXp costs $85 a month, okay? It's a $50 tech fee and a $35 university fee, okay? In the past, and it's one of the things that people will criticize, oh, eXp went up on their fees from $50 to $85. Total lie. That's not what happened, okay? At eXp, the fee went up. It did go up from 50 to 85, but at one time you had to pay a $420 fee on your first closing. Okay, they give you stock, and they still do on your first closing every year. Every year you have a closing, they give you stock. Okay, but in the past, you had that $420 fee on your first closing to pay for the university fee. Now you don't have that anymore, and they just broke it down into monthly payments. Is what they did. Okay. So nothing's gone up. The $25 broker fee and the $40 risk management fee has always been there. And there's a cap of $500 on that. So once you've done $500 at risk management, it goes away. Okay. The broker review fee will never go away. That's always there for every transaction you have. It's $25 for someone to look over your contracts and transaction management and the BIC to make sure it's all in line, which is well worth it. Right. Keep us out of trouble. Okay, so the problem, and you see me smiling. I just love talking about this because, you just look back here on the, you don't see my entire wall, but I've got, I don't know. I've got a lot more awards sitting in this cabinet over here. I got plenty of awards from RE/MAX. Love RE/MAX, okay? But I don't have one share of their stock. Never even thought about buying their stock. The only thing that I thought about when I was at RE/MAX was who was driving the NASCAR. That was it, okay? At eXp, we get stock equities, all right? You earn shares on your first transaction. You earn shares when you're fully capped. You earn shares when an agent you sponsor closes their first transaction. You can become an Icon agent, which is for a whole nother conversation, but it's very simple. If you do around 35 to 40 transactions a year, maybe even less than that, depends on how much volume, how big of deals they are, you can become an Icon agent. What that means is you get all $16,000 of the cap that you put into the company back in stock. Okay, there's a vested period. I'm not going to get into all that. There's a 3-year vesting period for a portion of it, and there's a couple other things you have to do. It's an application, you get vetted for it, but regardless, it's well worth it. In my group alone that I've attracted to eXp, I have 3 Icons, And I have one that's going to be an icon, or should have been last year, but it was her first year. She was very close to making it that year. And even myself, I'm very close to being an icon, but I haven't quite made it yet. But I've been very close. I will next year. Well, knock on wood. Okay. All right. And then, so the agent equity program also, and this is something I've been participating from the very beginning, is that you can take 5% of your commission instead of paying the franchise fee that you pay at most brokerages. Out here, you're paying a franchise fee of 5 or 6%. Take that 5% and buy the stock at a 20% discount. Okay. So it's like a built-in 401k, but it's not really a 401k. All right. You're still paying taxes on it and all that stuff. But still, it gives you equity. Just pretend like it doesn't exist. Don't even pay attention to the stock, what it's doing. It's going to go up and down like all stock does. It's over a long period of time. This company is about long term. I think that's one of the biggest things that people don't really realize. It's long term. Okay. I can't stress that enough. It's not a get rich scheme. It's nothing. And this is what we're going to talk about now. This is why I'm stressing that now. This is a long term company. Okay. I've done quite well in 2 years, but you have to be patient, and you have to look at it realistically and realize that, this model would be a standalone perfect model for any agent, regardless of whether they're attracting agents or not. Okay. I met an agent, and a really quick story. I met an agent in October, a few months back, that had been at eXp for 3 years. Okay. She's an icon agent. She does a lot of transactions because she does mostly lower end stuff, but she does a lot of transactions, so she stays really busy. She's attracted one agent who is on her team, and that's it. And she says she has no desire or doesn't even care about attracting agents. Okay, and she's extremely happy at eXp. Okay, so it just depends on what you decide to do with your business model. When I said 60% of the reason why I joined eXp, 50, 60%, whatever, to join eXp, this was probably 50% of it. The other 10, the stock equity was 10%. This is really probably half of the reason. And this is why I always wanted to grow a team this way. Okay. I could attract agents, make a little money off of them, help them grow their business, give them tips, give them advice, let them call me anytime they have a question, help them through whatever transaction they need. That's what I like doing. But when I was on my own team, I did not want to have the responsibility and the headache and concern of making sure someone was feeding their family. Okay. That is, this real estate in this industry is very difficult. Okay. There's a lot of ups and downs and stuff. And I take things to heart sometimes. I didn't want to have a lot of people on salary where I had to hire and fire. I just didn't want that responsibility. I had that 8 years prior to that in the furniture business. That wasn't my desire. I did not want to run a team that way. I could make a very good living without having this big, gigantic organization. And I didn't have the big ego necessarily to where I had to be number one or whatever. I didn't really, that's not what drove me. What drove me is making a good living, supporting my family, and all that stuff. Now what's driving me is at 55 is, how can I exit this business at some point in time? I love this business, and I don't plan on doing it anytime soon, as long as I can get up and down and all that. But I'd love to be able to go skiing and not worry about breaking my neck or breaking my leg and worrying about my family and how they're going to survive, right? So I'm thinking long term. And that's what this is about. Or if I get sick, when I first got in this business, the first 3 months I got in this business, after I left as a buyer's agent, my first 3 months when I left, I got sick, and I had an infection, and it was bad. I could not work for the first 3 months I was in business, and it was tough, man. And I was a Remax agent, so I was still paying like a grand a month to be at, for the pleasure of being at Remax, which was very unusual back then. Most agents, when they started out in the business, they didn't start out at Remax, but that's the way I did it. And but the point I'm trying to make is had I been at this company back when they're in a crash or whenever, certainly agents would have left or whatever. Maybe they've gotten out of business or whatever. But more than likely, they could have afforded the $50 or $85 they were paying to stay at eXp to keep their license active. They may have not left the business. It's just when the business came back, because they went out and got other jobs or whatever they did. This model is insulated. There's a lot of stickiness to this model, okay? And as it should be, because this model is agent-centric. So I'm off that. So here it goes. All right. Every agent that you sponsor is very simple. Do not make this complicated, because it's very simple. Every agent that you sponsor to the company has a potential of earning as much money as they want, okay? You have a potential of earning 3.5% of their gross commission up to $80,000. So once they capped, okay, you cap, okay, on the revenue share, okay? That's everyone that you personally sponsor, all right? Earn up to $2,800 for each one that you introduce to the company. All right. If they only make 50% of that cap, this is one of those things I'm going to clear up. Some people say, well, you don't make any money unless they cap. No, 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 no. You make 50, if they make 50% of the cap, you get 50% of that. But if they make $500,000, you're still only getting $2,800, basically 3.5% of $80,000. Okay. It's not hard to understand. So if you have 10 of those agents on your first tier and they're all full capping agents, to keep the math simple, you're making 10 times 2,800, $28,000. Okay. Not saying you're going to do that. I'm not saying everybody's going to be full capper, just making the math easy. Okay. All right. Now, what's wonderful about this setup? Okay. The revenue share is paid by company dollars and doesn't reduce the agent's commission. Okay. It's still an 80-20 split, which is more generous than most brokerages out here. They're giving you all this technology on top of that. So it should be enticing for agents to say, you mean I can come here, I can grow my business in multiple different ways. I can pay $85 a month and I get KV Core, I get all of this stuff, all these bells and whistles. And then on top of that, I can get stock and I can attract agents and have a revenue stream, you know, for 15, 20 years down the road if I do it right. You tell me that's what I can do? I can literally have revenue coming in that sometimes may even make me over 100% commission potentially. Not even counting Icon, I can do that? Are you kidding me? Think about that, okay? Just do the math. All right, so now let's really dig into this now because it's going to get really interesting now. We also have what we call cascading revenue. So let me trim this down. I'm sorry, I realized the video may be, my screen may be too big. So look at this. So every time that you attract an agent, you potentially unlock a tier, okay? But it goes on 5 agent increments, okay? So if you have 4 agents that you've personally sponsored, and those 4 agents have attracted 3 agents, you're not going to get paid anything. You're going to get paid a very small percentage. It's called expansion share, a very small percentage, but you'll get what we call an exponential share if you get that 5th agent. When you get that 5th agent in every 5 agent increments, the next slide will show you that. Every 5 agent increments that you personally sponsor to the company, you're going to unlock a tier, okay? And it goes down 7 tiers, okay? There's another company out there that's the largest in the world, you know, Keller Williams, that has a very similar model. I think it's almost identical. The difference is we pay revenue off the top, not the bottom, okay? So every time that you attract 5 agents, you unlock a tier, all right? Now, every tier represents a different amount of cap money, okay? The cap's the same, $80,000 cap, but the percentage is different. So before on tier 1, it's 3.5%. On tier 2, it's 4%. You actually make more on the second level than you do the first. So if you see here, tier 1, you're making $2,800, as we stated before. Tier 2, you're making up to potentially $3,200. Okay, so what does that mean? So that means on this example here, when you got that 5th agent, those 3 agents on that second tier may have already been there. When you hit that 5th agent on your first tier, you just unlock potentially $9,600 a year in income right there. Okay, that's how simple it is. There's no limit to the amount an agent can earn. There's no limit. There's no cap on the amount. You know, it doesn't matter if the agent's on tier 2, again, if they're only doing 50% of $80,000, you're only making half that. Whatever percentage of the cap they're doing is what you make, okay? So what does that do? That incentivizes you to help the agents that you bring on, help them attract agents, but then it also incentivizes you to help them build their business. That's what's so aggressive. That's what's so brilliant about this model. There's no secrets in our company. We all want to help each other. We should. Because not only that, even if you're not in our cascading revenue line, we're part of our company because we're stock ownership too. So there's that too. That's the dynamic that I don't think people fully can grasp until they really get in the company to see it, how powerful it is. I see it every day, you know. And the thing is like when you're in an area in a market that's very small, or big market, but let's say eXp is very small footprint, right? And most every market's the case unless you go down to Texas. I think they're already taking over a couple of cities down there, like third market share now, stuff like that, pretty large cities. But, you know, and ours is growing tremendously too. But, you know, we don't have the footprint yet. We're still just tinily scratched the surface, right, of the company and the growth, right? But our growth has been tremendous, but we're still just a very small scratch of the surface. So, so just think about how much potential growth there is for you, okay? Just think about that. So now we're going to show what it really looks like. Okay, so $2,800 on your first tier, $3,200. Then it goes down to $2,000, $1,200, $800, $2,000, and then on tier 7, if you're fortunate enough to attract 40 agents to the company, then it unlocks tier 7, which is 5% gross commission on everybody that's on that tier 7. There are agents already now that have agents on tier 8, 9, 10. They don't get paid on that. So this isn't some kind of top to bottom craziness, right? It's more like this, right? That's what it is. And to me, I personally think it's the purest form of capitalism. It's the best model for real estate because it incentivizes others to help others. That's just the way it is. And what I was kind of alluding to before is that as it grows and grows, we're becoming more social. We're getting out now. Now we're having our Christmas parties, and things are getting bigger and bigger. So more people are willing to come because there's more people there, right? And it's just going to keep growing and growing. And we're going to become more social outside as opposed to just being stuck in the cloud. But that is one of the bads. That's one of the bad things is you can feel a little isolated being at eXp. You're not out there connecting with others in the industry. I mean, you go out and connect with others doing broker open houses and doing all this stuff, realtor events and whatever, but I mean, within your own company. But ultimately, most of the time, you're not going to get now, and I know there's a few examples of this, okay? There's a lot of agents out here that are very giving with knowledge and technology and things and helping people, but there's also a lot that keep a lot of secrets to themselves, okay? In our model, it's a lot different. We get in the cloud and we collaborate with someone from LA or someone from Oklahoma or someone from Texas, and they give us their secrets because, they want to help us grow and it doesn't affect them, right? So hope you're following the logic there. So how powerful is revenue share? So, and again, I'm not representing that anybody's going to make anything. I will tell you, I can say this, I'm not telling you how much revenue I make because I think I'd violate some rules there. All I can tell you is I have over 50 agents in my revenue line. I personally attracted only like between 15 and 20, and I have over 50. Okay, so a lot of those agents that are in my cascading revenue share, I didn't even attract. Okay, and a lot of them aren't even in my state. Okay, and I benefit from that. Now, how much money? I cannot tell you that. I can just tell you, all I can tell you is that I'm extremely happy to be at eXp Realty. Okay, now look at this. How powerful the residual income is. We got 100, 200, 300, 500. So that was what represents how much money is in the bank. Okay, at 5% interest. That's how much money you'd have to have that type of residual income coming in every month. So if you're having $1,000 of revenue coming in every month, that's potentially of having almost $250,000 in the bank, drawing 5% interest. Okay, so joining is very simple. Reach out to your sponsor if you've got one. Reach out to me if you don't. phillipjohnson.exprerealty.careers is my site. I also have a site called brokeragefornextgen.com. You can go there and get a lot more information, a little more information than you can at the eXp site. Phillip.johnson at exprealty.careers is my .com is my email, or call me or text me 919-868-3171. I'll be glad to answer your questions. And look, and I just want to zoom in here on me real quick and just tell you, this model is very simple. Don't make it complicated. If you're doing the same thing you've always done, working hard for yourself, right? So get equity in yourself. Okay, that's the main thing about this. That's the main thing you got to understand. We preach to our clients every day about equity, right? Don't rent, buy. That's what I'm suggesting to you. You have nothing to lose. You can always go back to your other brokerage. They'll welcome you back with open arms. Take a chance, and like I did. I mean, and believe me, I've 20 years at Remax. Believe me, I've had multiple opportunities, many opportunities to do whatever. Never even thought about it until I saw this model. Changed my life. So hopefully that you'll see what I see, and it can change your life. That's the whole goal here. And again, I just want to thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.